Hey, listen, I, for one, love playful experimentation. There's the casual, oops, I ate too many magic brownies, and then there's scarring children for life. These are the 5 most evil experiments. Number 5, the monster study. From a supervillain perspective, children are the perfect test subjects. They're vulnerable and trusting and adaptable. From a human perspective, you stay away from the precious pumpkins. They are sacred. They are our future. I believe the children are our future. Keep us safe and let them lead the way. In 1939, Wendell Johnson, which sounds like a name for a silly penis, Wendell Johnson was a University of Iowa speech pathologist when he and his student Mary Tudor conducted experiments on 22 non-stuttering orphan children. If there's no parent there, they can't give consent. Rule of thumb. One group was given positive speech therapy, praising them for their fluent speech. The other group was given negative speech therapy, and they were yelled at anytime there were any flaws in their speech abilities. Wendell called the kids in the negative speech therapy group stutterers, even though they had no previous signs of a stutter. The result of this reckless experiment was that the kids in the negative group developed speech problems that lasted their entire lives. Several of the test subjects sued the University of Iowa, and the case was finally settled in 2007. If you'll remember, this study happened in 1939. That's too long, University of Iowa. This case hurts me so deeply because you might not know this, but I am a stutterer. We have very clever editors that make sure you don't know that, but I am indeed a stutterer.
So after getting hit
to put connection. Judith is. That's the moral of the story. Storty? Moral of the story? Storty? Turns out, my dick. Nope, my dick off. My dick right off. Number 4, Agent Orange experiments. Prisoners have often been the unwilling subjects of evil experimentation. From 1965 to 1966, Dr. Albert Kligman, in association with Dow Chemical, Johnson & Johnson, and the U.S. goddamn Army, conducted a dermatological research experiment on 75 prisoners. Prisoners were injected with dioxin, a toxic byproduct of Agent Orange, which you might remember from killing a bunch of people in the Holocaust. According to reports, they dosed the prisoners with 468 times the amount the study originally called for. Results were disgusting. The prisoner's skin blew the hell up with acne and warts and cysts and pussy stuffs all over their face and groin and armpits. Long after the experiment, prisoners continued to suffer from the effects of the exposure. Kligman went on to become the doctor behind Retin A, a major treatment for acne. So fuck, I guess it worked. I mean, whatever, fine. Number 3, deliberate radiation poisoning. During the Cold War, the US was obsessed with figuring out how to survive nuclear warfare. How much radiation could the human body take? Let's figure it out together. The Pentagon was especially invested in this query because if they figured out how to protect the US soldiers from chemical or nuclear warfare, then they could be the first to blow up the planet with an atomic bomb. From 1960 to 1971, Dr. Eugene Sanger, a radiologist at the University of Cincinnati, conducted an experiment on 88 cancer patients. These 88 cancer patients were also poor and mostly black because marginalized people don't translate as real humans to the authority. They were exposed to whole body radiation even though this type of treatment was discredited for the kind of cancer these patients had. They were not asked to sign consent forms, nor were they told the Pentagon funded this study. They were simply told that they were getting a treatment that might help them. Patients were exposed to the equivalent of about 20,000 x-rays worth of radiation within an hour. Just for reference, you're not supposed to get more than 6 x-rays in a year. Nausea, vomiting, severe stomach pain, loss of appetite, and mental confusion were the results. nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. Hey, radiation. A report in 1972 indicated that as many as a quarter of the patients died from radiation poisoning. Dr. Sanger recently received a gold medal for his career achievements from the Radiological Society of North America. Number 2, the Aversion Project. Turns out people didn't like gay people in apartheid-era South Africa, especially people in the army. They figured out who had homosexual tendencies by using the Army's psychiatrist and chaplain's knowledge from private confessions and conversations. They needed to secretly extract this information because if you weren't aware, being gay in the Army wasn't officially chill until 2010. The undesirables, their words, not mine, were sent to a military hospital for correction. There, between 1971 and 1989, many victims were submitted to chemical castrations and electric shock therapy to cure them of their homosexual condition. Sorry I used so many air quotes, but this whole experiment was goddamn bullshit. As many as 900 people from the ages of 16 to 24 were subjected to forced reassignment surgeries. These men were thrown out of the military after an incomplete gender reassignment surgery without any means to pay for expensive hormones. The head of this project, Dr. Aubrey Levin, went on to become a clinical professor at the University of Calgary. That is, until 2010, when his license was suspended for making sexual advances to a male student. He was then sentenced to 5 years in prison for sexually assaulting a bunch of dudes. I get it, Aubrey. You hurt people because you hurt on the inside. Life is just middle school, over and over and over again. Number 1, Edgewood. Sometimes science is real groovy. This could have been one of those times, but no. The square-ass government had to go and make this cool-time party drug into something terrifying. From 1948 until 1975, the US military conducted top-secret human experimentation at the Edgewood Arsenal facility. The purpose was to evaluate the impact of low-dose chemical warfare on their own damn soldiers. They exposed the soldier volunteers to chemical agents like sarin and BX and pepper gas and a whole bunch of other garbage. By the way, these soldiers were volunteers in as much as you are a volunteer to do the dishes at your parents' house. You don't want to do it, but if you don't, girl, you gon' get it. Somehow, the Edgewood experiments get more gruesome from there. These monsters conducting the experiments started to weaponize LSD. They decided to test it on the most competent soldiers by taking the top 1% of military officials and dosing them with LSD. Party. The idea behind testing the best of the best is that they believed that these generals, lieutenants, etc. to be mentally superior. Basically, if you can take down the best, you can take down anybody. One truly harrowing tale from Edgewood is when 4 military officials were brought to a secret location. 3 of the guys were dosed with LSD while 1 of them remained sober. One of the guys that was given LSD was given 100 times the recommended dose. When they were taken to the secret location, they were told that there was a bomb threat, and if they didn't figure out how to dismantle this bomb, then everybody was gonna die. They were locked in this windowless room for 3 days without relief, and interestingly enough, the sober man started to reflect the symptoms of the people dosed with LSD. They went completely insane. By the way, this sealed office was really a Hollywood-like set that was built in the middle of a military facility. So people were around them going about their jobs, while inside these 4 men were convinced that the world was ending. After the experiment, they all went insane, and 2 of the men actually ended up killing their families because of the mental damage. Look, some good came from Edgewood. The Kevlar vest, or the bulletproof vest, was invented there. So great, compromise. If this made you as mad as it should, you should check out MKUltra, Project Paperclip, and Project 112, which are very similar experiments that help continue to prove that the government doesn't care about you. It's a lie. Burn it to the ground or else it'll burn you. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. Please like it, subscribe to Snarled, watch our other videos right here, and please do leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what kind of dark stuff you want me to talk about next week. Also, please let me know if you've been a part of any sort of human experiments. Actually, do not let me know. You should let a therapist know, and your mother.